Welcome to Property Chat with Lucy, where real estate meets a real talk. I'm your host, Lucy, and I want to take you through a journey of the basics of real estate, unfair, at times traumatizing stories in real estate. You're gonna meet industry experts here, and also I'm gonna share with you market trends on real estate, so you don't wanna miss out on this. So look forward to an amazing time with me as I get you into my world of real estate. Every episode, I intend to educate you, inform, and inspire you. So stay tuned to this. We have a lot of agents in the market who are not qualified, who are not registered.
Yeah, of course. Actually, what you're saying about agents being the name agent has completely been tarnished. It's been defamed.
Do you call yourself an agent?
I call myself a registered estate agent.
I call myself a real estate professional because
Yeah.
I
We recently did a market study and we discovered that there'll be about 8,000 residential units coming into the market.
Wow.
Yes, from in 2025. So from Q2 of 2026 all the way up to Q3 and of course a bit of Q4 of 2027. And this, about 70% of that stock is in Westlands.
Oh,
Yes.
I believe that the day you stop growing is the day you start dying.
It's been a minute since I've been on my podcast, and what a better way of coming back here. Today is my first ever episode introducing Girls Corner Real Estate Edition with two of my absolute favorite people in this market, two amazing professionals, and also they're very close friend of mine. Now, we all say real estate is a business that is just beyond the transaction, the deals we make. It's about people. And I am glad to have two of my strong pillars that have really made me thrive in this market. For the new people, my name is Lucy Thuo. I'm a coach, a mentor, as many of you might know in the market, and I'm also a commercial real estate realtor. I don't like being called real estate agent, you all know. But yeah, so let me just allow them to introduce themselves and then I can come back to you to just unveil to you what Girls Corner is all about because you don't want to miss on this. Good. So, karibuni sana to my episode, the first ever. But thank you so much for just accepting my invitation. I look forward to creating memories and actually sharing a bit of our world to the rest of the guys out there. So, Christabel, I know you're not new here.
Yes, thank you for having me back.
And maybe there's someone probably they're seeing you for the first time. Could you tell us what you do, and how you, because for you to be here, we are, in other words, I'll call ourselves realtor babes.
Okay.
Yeah. So tell us.
Okay, so my name is Christabel Ojuok. I am many things. I am a registered estate agent. I am a co-founder of a company called Rensco, where we primarily focus on affordable housing. So we help people purchase their first homes affordably and help them now transition from renting to owning at almost a similar cost to renting. Yeah, I'll leave it there, then we'll get to talk more.
You're making me feel so bad. I didn't even tell you guys. I'm a registered agent. I'm also a registered valuer. I'm the founder of Future is Realtors. And of course, now the Future is Mentorship program that is currently equipping quite a lot of, informative information to aspiring realtors. So you made me thought of, I didn't fully introduce myself. But anyway, let's go to Joan.
Hello, thank you, Lucy. I think this is an amazing, amazing idea. Just coming here and chatting with you guys about what we encounter, what we learn, what we know. Yeah, so I look forward to doing this.
So
a
what
lot.
do you do?
I am, like I said, I'm Joan. I am a real estate professional. I basically do property advisory services. I'm in corporate, unlike these two babes who are so fierce. They started their own businesses. I am in corporate. I've been in the real estate industry for the last 12 years. I am a registered valuer. I am an RICS registered valuer as well. So the first meant locally registered. The other means that I can also practice in other parts of the world. And I'm also a registered estate agent, though I don't practice that. But I'm in the market and I know what to do, what not to do. Yeah. So yeah, that's me.
Wow, amazing. Guys, you can all see I hang out with very qualified and very elite real estate professionals who are just not professionals to me, but they are more than friends. Now, I would just want to give a brief of what to expect from us. This is a segment that's going to air every month on Property Chat with Lucy. We're just going to hang out, share about our experiences every month, highlights of the week, and perhaps give you a bit of market insights on what's happening in our different segments in the market. And on that note, I would probably want to ask, how has February been for you? It's the month of love. And I remember when I was just sitting down with my team and we're thinking, what do we do for Valentine's promotion, on social media, because it's a crazy time. Everyone is trying to promote something. And I just thought, this is what I'm going to do. Perhaps just talking about our recap for the month, and then also highlight, because people think real estate is just the glam, the deals, but there's so much that comes behind what we portray on social media. So what has been your highlight in February?
Do you want to start?
Forget about the mics in front of you. This is us having coffee somewhere.
I know. So for me, before we even get to that, I'd like to understand. I know, during your intro, you mentioned you don't like being called an agent.
Oh, yeah.
You prefer being called a realtor. So perhaps, like, based on how I see it, or how sort of like look at it. So it's the difference in terminologies. Can one arguably say one is American, the other one is English? Because it's pretty much.
Let me just say this. The reason why I'm very strongly opinionated about the realtor agency terms is our market practice.
Okay.
We have a lot of agents in the market who are not qualified, who are not registered. So I wouldn't want myself to be in that. I feel like I bring to the table more than just the liaison role of connecting a buyer and a seller. There's a technical bit of why you need to buy this and not this, why we need to put your money in a given investment and not any other, that an agent in the market, as people call them, quack agents, might not help you.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely, that does make sense. But also in the same breath, we also have a lot of people who call themselves realtors, and they're also.
This is the other thing. I never compare yourself with someone else.
Yeah.
You have your own world of how you define yourself, on how you. Yes, I've seen that, and I can tell you, I've seen this realtor name come on board
A lot,
after Lucy
especially.
saw the realtor. I've seen quite a number. Someone just wakes up, you see, and it's good. Honestly, it's good. I don't know what your take is, but I feel like also there's an element of what organization are you attributed to in terms of, like, now we are all members of Institute of Surveyors of Kenya. We are members of Estate Agents Registration Board.
Yes.
She's a member of RICS.
Yeah.
I feel like that brings a bit of prestige to the realtor world than just the agency world.
Yeah, of course. Actually, what you're saying about agents being, the name agent has completely been tarnished. It's been defamed. When you're introducing yourself and you say you're an agent, someone kind of like might look at you like, can I trust you?
Yeah.
Are you going to con me of money? And it's because that's what we've seen. Like, quite literally, people have lost money
Yeah, and
from
trust.
and trust from a lot of having these agents
Yeah.
come in. And the thing that separates a professional or a realtor professional and an agent is the regulatory bodies.
Yeah.
So what you're calling the ISK, VRB, that's the Valuers Registration Board,
Yes.
ISK Institution of Surveyors of Kenya, or RICS, because they regulate the profession and they make sure that you behave accordingly. You know, there are certain ethics standards that you're meant to follow, and
Yeah.
so
Absolutely.
So, do you call yourself an agent or a realtor?
I call myself a registered estate agent.
I call myself a real estate professional because I
Okay.
Yeah.
I call myself a realtor. Oh
I
my
don't
God.
I don't want to do any of that.
I agree with what you're saying. I mean,
Yeah.
of course, we have so many quirks in the market,
Yeah.
arguably, and whether you call yourself a realtor or you call yourself an agent, if you're not a professional, if you actually haven't gone through that journey of, studying and doing your professional exams, then the rest are details, really, because you're clearly not a professional, right?
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So
in that spirit of talking about real estate agents, real estate professionals, in some avenues, I call myself a property consultant. What should a client out there look for when they're hiring a qualified, let me not even use any, a qualified professional to help them transact real estate? In your own opinion.
Yeah. So for me, what I'd say is, firstly, it depends on the service that the client wants to procure. So again, within the real estate space, we have estate agents, we have valuers, we have property managers, we have, interestingly enough, even estate agents can practice conveyancing.
Yeah.
Yes, they
yeah.
actually can. Yes. I think those are, and then of course we have the market studies and market and feasibility studies. So it depends on the service that the client wants to procure. Because sometimes, as much as I could be, let's say, both a registered estate agent and a registered valuer, but I don't practice valuation.
Yeah.
So yes, I do have the papers,
Yeah.
but it's not a skill that I do on a day-to-day. So I may not necessarily be the best person
To go to.
to go to for valuation.
Yeah.
However, on the other hand, that's what Joan does on a day-to-day, right? So then it makes sense for the client to go to Joan. So I'd say yes, obviously, bare minimum, make sure you're procuring services from a professional, and by that it means they need to have their licenses in place. Then secondly, just the area of practice. What do they do on a day-to-day, and what's their area of expertise? That's how I'd look at it.
I think competency. Just make sure that the person is competent. How do you do that? Like you said, papers. And two, check on, let them tell you who they've worked with. Let them give you references. So you can state that you've done work for a similar kind of job that the client wants to procure. So tell me experiences that you have with a similar assignment that you have carried out. And then give me references that I can actually call and find out, kind of like a job interview. You want to make sure that the person you're hiring is competent and is able to deliver quality services and a very high standard of service.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
You took us back. You didn't answer my question.
Oh, so it was, how's February been?
How's February
We
been?
digressed. Okay. So far, let me see.
There's that thing you always tell us. We gauge ourselves 1 to 5 on how our month has been.
Oh yes, it's sort of like a pulse check. So on a scale of 1 to 5, where you are at. So from a professional point of view, or rather, I guess it's just based on how February has been, I'd say I'd put it at a 3 out of 5.
That's a good start.
Yeah, it's somewhere, it could be better. So for a couple of reasons, when we started the year, January was a bit slow, and primarily I'm guessing that's because many people are just thinking about going back to school. You just started the year, so obviously you're not thinking about, you may perhaps have plans of investing in real estate, but it's let me take care of the basics first. So then February we started seeing now like lots of inquiries, increased leads, and now people are a bit more relaxed and settled into the year, so that's a good thing. how else would I'm trying to say. Then, of course, there's the month of love. So, yeah, Valentine's, which is always an exciting period.
Tell us.
Details today.
No, we don't have details. I mean, there were chocolates, there were flowers here and there. So, yeah,
Awesome.
I'll leave it to that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Joy.
I think February started very well.
Yeah.
There's quite a bit going on just this month. So work-wise, I got in the midst of me being a member of RICS, there's also some I would call it consultancy I do with RICS, which involves disciplinary measures and action. So I sat my first case, which was quite interesting, and also getting to learn how to get to do that,
Yeah.
and just putting a footprint in Kenya and in Africa.
Oh, wow.
Yes, just getting at least having us represented in that way and contributing to the profession in that way. And the other thing that I would say is that I am looking forward to some travel, so I am very excited about that.
Oh, yay.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Let me close this segment by just saying I feel like mine it's a five to
Okay.
4. I mean 4 to 5. Sorry, there's a 1, but I'll just say January being like a year where corporate clients would want to, get into new spaces. It's a very vibrant market at the moment, and also, New Year resolutions. Many people make big decisions first Q1 of the year, so that has been quite good, and I'm happy that things are happening. And then also there was a top of the icing. My first cohort of the mentorship graduated.
Well done on that.
Yes.
So
That was
it
amazing.
amazing.
Yeah.
And honestly, as I always tell you, I think it's just in our minds. We can achieve what we want in this life.
Absolutely.
And it's been one positive start of the year that is keeping us very fueled and very passionate on what we're doing.
Definitely.
Good. As we close on this segment, I look forward to meeting you. Just grab your coffee, just wait and hear about how we got to know each other and how our friendship has grounded us to do big business in this market as we remain loyal as friends and as women as well. I'll see you in the next segment. I know you could be wondering, how did these girls get to where they are today? And I have the same question as well, probably. How did you get here? Being like besties, we're doing the same thing. And there's this backbone we have. Every time we meet, we're all, what's happening in your market? What's happening in your market? I think that's a very solid place to have with your friends. And we want to discuss that and perhaps just to bring you to our world. We've known each other, I think, for over 10 years. Yes, 10 years,
Yep.
right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh,
10. It's a lot, yeah?
You know what? What brought us together is education. We
good.
were in the same uni, same industry. It's just you get to learn, you get to go for higher learning, and then you get to meet people that you end up sticking with for a very long time in your life, and it's a very good thing that just getting to be in that space whereby you go and learn together, and you have those challenges of you have exams, you have cuts, and you're discussing and revising. Let me tell you, this girl here, so we met in campus.
Okay, and I hope this is going to...
No. Of course, I'll say only the good parts.
Okay, thank you.
So we met in campus, and
Please, you need to mention week 2.
yeah, it was the second
really?
week.
First year.
Yes.
First year, we were in the same hostel, same class.
Yeah.
So Lucy is such a ball of energy, and she is so lighthearted, and she very easily approachable, and she wants to talk to everyone. What are you about? And she's very relatable. So it was easy being your friend, especially those days. And then what many people don't say is that she was extremely, when it comes to books, she was there in class, all the classes.
Yeah.
She was there in all the classes. If you miss some, like me, we'd borrow notes and then be in the same group
They'd borrow
discussion
notes
with
from
her.
me.
Yeah,
Oh,
I needed to be in her group discussion. When are we going for group discussion
I
so that
know.
you can download? I literally used to download your mind. So
Oh,
thank you.
wow.
You really helped me, basically.
Okay.
So yeah, and then interestingly, we also got to work together in the same
Mm.
company, and that's where I met Chris.
Mm.
Yeah, but yeah, that's where I
Wow.
would say it began for me with you too.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
Wow, that's interesting. You know, I always keep on wondering how I never saw you guys. So you were a year,
I think we
was
were
it
a year
a year
ahead.
ahead?
Yeah.
You're a
Yeah.
year ahead, right?
No, you guys were a year ahead.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Either a year out, I don't know. No, were you the same? Was it a year ahead?
No whispers.
Yeah, so you guys were 2 years ahead then.
Okay.
Oh.
Yeah, yeah. So
Yeah,
for some
yeah.
reason, I just never saw you guys. Like,
How
absolutely.
would you have missed
I don't know. I
at some
just,
point?
Of
You
course.
were very like first year.
uh,
Yeah, that's why you probably didn't get to know us. First year, I think we were known.
Of course,
Yeah.
first year the spotlight is on you guys,
Yeah.
regardless of whatever it is that you do. Everybody wants to meet you. You're the new fresh meats.
Mhm.
So everybody wants to meet you, but
Hang out with you.
hang out with you.
Yeah.
And then you're exploring because it's a new kind of experience being in
Yeah,
campus
like
by
for
yourself
some
and
of
all of
us,
that.
I really
Yeah.
explored. Anyway, sorry for cutting you short.
No,
darling.
it's fine. Yeah, so for some reason, I just never saw you guys. And I mean, where we were at ADD, I believe we can mention that.
Yeah.
So it's such a small unit, or like a small, should I say faculty or school, so to
Yeah.
speak.
Yeah.
So pretty much, I mean, I can spot a couple of familiar faces within the architectural space, within the design space or planning, but Landicon, like I just never saw you guys. So I don't know. So it was so interesting. Like now, obviously now when we met at work, and it was like, oh, which year are you in? You know, and I was like,
Yeah.
I had absolutely no recollection. Yeah.
It was, I think for me, I would agree with what you're saying, and I can make sense of it.
Yeah.
Being that you have your own clique of friends,
Mm.
and then you just go to ADD, the building, just
yeah.
for your class.
Yes.
So you're there. I have a class from 8 to 10. You're there at 7:50. You go for your class and you leave, and you go do your other things.
I
So it's
see.
very easy if
Yeah.
you're not within the same group of friends for you guys to meet.
Yeah.
Unless you're like Lucy,
I
we used to
know,
spend
I know.
time in the library.
Yeah. You know, me and
And-
Joan, I think there's a year that we were just, if you don't see me,
Yeah.
you'll wonder where Joan is.
Yeah,
We're in the library together, lunch together.
yeah.
She's hanging out with people that I'm also
Hanging out with,
them.
yeah.
Yeah.
And let me just say this. This is how our friendship was really like so strong. We'd go out. Someone would want to hang out with Joan, but I'll be there like a sister.
Yeah.
Just to take care of her.
Yeah.
I feel like that's like,
And vice
have you seen
versa.
that meme of like when
Yeah.
somebody's trying to befriend my bestie and you're looking
Yeah,
at them
like,
like, who are you?
Who are you? You Kwanzaa, who are you?
Things we can't even mention here, but I would say we like our friendship go way back into very deep foundations
Okay.
of taking care of each other. Not just when you meet, like for me, I don't have a sister. So any person who strikes that sisterhood, it really cuts deep.
Yeah,
And I
it does.
feel I need to be that sister that I never, it's a love that I never experienced. So I experience it in a different form, you know? Yeah, and we go way back.
Yeah.
Let me say that. Now, for me and Christabel, I sit down and I think, yes, it's me, but I always try to figure out at what point, because I remember meeting Christabel in the streets of where we used to work,
Yeah.
and she never used to say hi. Yeah.
By the way,
Oh,
Christabel,
yeah.
you are very.
Yeah.
I can count the number of times we've spoken more
I remember
when
she
you've
was-
left.
Yes.
Oh my
Yeah.
goodness.
Yeah.
Wow.
You are so snobby. Yeah, that's the word.
I don't think
you
it's snobby.
are
I think
so
she's
snobby.
I think she's
Christabel.
just introverted.
Okay. You
Oh,
know what?
gosh.
For me, where I
Introverted.
sit, the reason why, and I think, I'm sorry if I'm using snobby, but I'm a social butterfly.
Yeah, quite quite
So
true.
anytime I find it hard to strike a conversation, you must be a snobbish person because I strike conversations
Very
so
easily.
easily.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So it happened. It was during I had a vision of just doing my master's, and she had the same vision. Kidogo kidogo, she was coming to our department. Then she found me doing something in light of that like enrolling for my master's, and I tell her, "Oh, I'm doing this." But this is now when we had started talking, but it had not gotten to that cementation, where this is your girl. It's not like you're not in the the outcast of the girlhood. And I remember after knowing her, we started having like coffee dates. Then we could bring other people. Then she mentioned something to me, and she told me, "You need to know, friends in a workplace are not your friends, so you need to be careful." After she told me that, I was like, "Okay, this girl, maybe I need to take time to learn her." So the first time I even remember, I moved houses. I could come to on my relationships. They're not working. Some I would go cry to her, and then I'm asking myself, I'm overburdening her, right? And I remember going to her.
But you weren't. Just
Yeah,
so
I
you
know. Those
You weren't.
because I'm growing up with our sister. I didn't know how
Yeah,
to,
I see.
But then she gave me that open door of even coming to my house. At times she could ask me, "Lucy, I want to come and crash in your house." And I'm like, this is so strange.
But okay.
No, I wasn't so used to that until she introduced that to me. I could go sleep in her house.
Yeah.
It wasn't a thing for me.
Yeah.
I was like, you live in your house, I live in my house.
We meet
We meet,
outside there,
everyone,
then everybody goes to their place.
So when I started going to crash at Joan's, Joan was living in Uptown. Uptown after we
The
cleared.
good life.
Oh my God.
It's not true. There's something they're not
No.
saying. She's not saying something, yeah.
Oh, yes. So I used to crash at Joan. She's living in Uptown. Let me just say Uptown. Then she motivated me to move to Uptown because I could ask myself, we are earning the same. How is she affording to be there? Is it that I'm not ambitious or... And it's not like comparing myself, but I've always been this person who loves just good things, like easy life. And not being spoiled, but just having a comfortable life.
Comfortable is the word,
Right?
yeah.
So, yeah, she didn't know where I used to live. She came to know me when I moved to Uptown.
Okay.
Yes. And then
we
now
would
she
travel
started...
to come to
Oh,
see your
yeah,
place. We
you
would
remember.
travel.
Oh,
yeah.
Travel.
We would travel.
Hey, gosh, it's been a journey.
But yeah, in terms of real estate, the way you start, you can't just start at the top.
Yeah.
You start with what you can afford. And I think, like they say, location.
Yeah.
It's very important.
Yeah.
So even if you start small in the right location or, a location that motivates you to further yourself,
Yeah.
it's quite important to get that going and that
So when I moved to Uptown, that's when now my relationship with Christabel flourished.
Okay.
Wow.
Then I realized this is a soft babe. Then I realized Christabel is a soft babe.
Yeah,
Soft babe. And ideally, I borrowed so much from Christabel in terms of how I view life. But I've always been someone who plans. I never envision myself just having an emergency pop in my door and I'm not ready.
Yeah.
Yeah. She can tell you, I used to sell shoes.
Yeah.
I used to sell handbags.
Bags, yeah.
Every
She was
Tuesday,
our plug.
I would go to Kamkunji, buy. I had a supply. Every Tuesday had new things. And every person in our hostel knew every Tuesday, walk to Lucy, you'd get something nice. So I saved up. And I can probably say I never lived in a bedsitter. I went to a 1-bedroom,
Okay.
fully furnished. and I was being paid around 10,000 when I started working.
Wow.
And I'm living
Yeah.
in a 1 bedroom. I was paying 8.5.
Mm.
So that's how I came to understanding that you build your world in your mind.
Mm.
Yeah.
You know,
Mm.
you're not defined by where you come from.
Mm.
It's your mindset
Mhm.
and the people you
Surround
have around
yourself
you.
with, yeah.
Yeah, so that's how I got to know her. And
Clearly.
since I remember, even now, even Christabel, Joan, I'm not going to say where I used to live, but I remember it became like a hood where we
Yeah.
could have wine in our balcony.
Yeah.
Then we could
Hangouts.
walk.
Yeah.
Oh,
Some
life
good
was
times.
fun. Life
Young,
was
wild, and
fun.
free.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So let me ask just a quick question back in now those days,
Mhm.
because also our dating lives. And would you move in now, having known what you know today, investing with your loved ones?
Mhm.
What's your take in that? I think we were so young, even like investing was not anywhere in our mindset.
Mm.
But what would your younger self do different?
With regards to
Investing,
oh.
but some of the things like me and Joan, right now I would say I had a rule. I wouldn't move in that guy.
Mhm.
If I was dating them.
Mm.
That was it for me. But then now the question is investing. Because also if you're moving in with someone, you're seeing a life with them. That's my perception.
Yeah.
We're in real estate. What's your take on that? I think it's a hot topic in the market,
Mm.
especially like a lot of babes are in the market, a lot of guys are in real estate.
Mm.
You're telling people to invest, but then you're not thinking about you.
Mhm.
You know,
Mm.
what are some of the, I mean, not say mistakes, but then what's your take on that situation? I've said I've never lived with anyone.
Mm. John?
No, I have never moved in with anybody.
There's some silence.
No, yeah.
Well, my take is that, especially when you're in your 20s, take your time. Take your time. Don't make any very commitments that are unable to that you'd be unable to undo when you're that young. Just make yourself very flexible so that you're able to do different things at different times, and so that you're able to learn, mostly so that you're able to learn. So I think a commitment such as investing, especially with a boyfriend, is especially when you're younger, is a bit too heavy.
Yeah.
And so much could change. I mean, the person I was when I was 10 years ago is not the person that I am today. So you want to make sure that when you're doing that, then there's a solid foundation, which is not boyfriend. Yeah, that's my take.
Mm. Okay. Well, first of all, I've been called a snob.
Oh yeah. Yeah, it's not a lie.
So-
But anyway, just to make like a correction, this was now my mindset back in the day.
Yeah.
She's such a friendly person. Reach out to her if you're looking for affordable houses.
So yeah. When I look back, so yeah, we just allow me to go back a bit. So of course we started interacting at the point of when we were both thinking about like our master's program. And yeah, I do recall those moments. And then of course things just flowed thereafter.
Can I just mention something?
Yeah.
When I was moving to my house, my matrimonial home, she cried.
Oh.
Yeah, she's like, oh. Yeah.
Yeah. So
Those moments of, you mean I'm not going to crash here anymore? I'm not going to have you as a sister.
yeah.
Well, that is always
Literally,
there, but
we
there's
were
that
so.
boundary.
It
Yeah.
was such an amazing time. Honestly, I wish we could go back.
I know.
Anyway,
But yeah, so that's how I met Lucy. John, I know it's definitely work. I can't recall at that first instant.
Yeah.
But I just do recall thinking like I was just like, oh my gosh, this baby's so gorgeous. So I'm obviously going to be saying hi and
oh, and she knows
you.
Lucy.
Interestingly enough, no, actually, I didn't
Really?
know. Yeah, because you recall you were on the ground floor.
Yeah,
You were in
Yeah.
commercial. So first of all, I wasn't talking to you guys because I was in a different department. Let's just start from there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, fine.
I was in a different department,
Uh-huh.
Okay.
and so yeah, retail, commercial, valuation. So yeah, I mean, unless we meet during those one of fortnight meetings, that's that, right? But then yeah, so occasionally, because I also want to try a bit of valuation, so then I would say hi to Joan. Yeah, I can't piece it together, but I think that that's the recollection that I have. And then of course with time we just get to talking and stuff. So yeah, when it comes to that element of investing with your, let's call them lover, right? Because they're not your,
yeah.
so when I was in my 20s, a friend of mine, when I was 25, gifted me a book by, I can't remember the author, but it's called The Defining Decade. So it talks about your 20s and how significant they are. And obviously the things that you're likely to do because you're in your 20s.
This is what you're doing in your 20s, reading books about the
Yes.
defining decades.
I know. I've always been a lover of books. So, yeah. So there's a chapter I recall that talks about dating down.
Wow.
I know. So there's absolutely, I know it's packed.
Where
but
were you?
I'd
You should have been friends there. You'd have kind of rubbed off on.
But frankly speaking, I'd advise anyone in their 20s to read that book. Like
Okay.
every time I come across like a young person, that's a book that I can buy and gift them.
Yeah.
It was very instrumental.
Okay.
So yeah, absolutely not. Like it's not something that I would even think about or consider, like investing or with your, somebody who you're not married to. As well as like even moving in and living together. That's not, I'm a very traditional person, so that's not something that I would pursue or even think of. Yeah.
Something to take note of. Hey, I think clearly you can tell, friendships you just don't wake up one day and you're friends with someone. You have to cultivate, you have to invest. And I think that's what we've really done to get us here, where we look beyond the real estate business and just become more like personal friends. And on that note, in terms of how well we know each other, as we close on this segment, I'm holding a glass and I know I'm extra,
Extra.
right? As they all call me, these two babes here, they know anytime I call them for anything, they show up to just match the vibes. You can see me and Joan, we didn't have like a dress code. We are all in like Scots. And one of the things that Christabel just walked in was like, why didn't you tell me? This was a
I missed the memo.
Nah. The thing is, it's how well you know your friend. And I think one of the things we've done that is just taking time to get to know each other and get to know, even before Lucy or Joanne or Christopher say something, we actually know.
Yeah. And also, how, if I may add, how well Christabel knows you. She came right on time. 2 hours late, but right on time. Have you ever seen someone who's late but on time? Because apparently, yeah, Lucy has many things that she does. So, yeah,
Anywho, that's how well your people will know you. And then it's good to, I always say, know your tribe, let your tribe know you, and that's the best thing you can ever have in genuine friendships. Now, as we go to like a closing segment, we'd like to take some time to take a break, and we'll come back with some closing and also just to tell you what to expect in our next episode. Now, we are all in agreement. It's a tough season. And as we sign off, we want to ideally just give you a glimpse of what's keeping our fire burning in our areas of experience or in our areas of expertise. Being a very tough market, Christabel, you go first.
Wow.
How are you? Every day I wake up, I'm like, oh, my girl is doing something,
Yeah.
So how are you keeping that mentally? It's something that I know someone would want to know.
Yeah. So What I'd say is, for me, first of all, I'm a routine-based person. So I like to plan my calendar, I like to plan my schedule. So I do have, so we generate a lot of content. And now there are specific days when we shoot content. So yeah, so it's just keeping that momentum and sticking to the plan, regardless of whether things don't go necessarily as you may want them to in the short term.
Yeah.
So you have to stick to the plan.
Yeah.
Yeah. In addition to that, it's also just the fact that now we have a team. So it's not necessarily about you. You also have to think about, the rest of the people within the team. And yes, the market is slower, transactions are taking longer. But at the end of the day, I mean, the market is also vibrant, especially within the residential segment.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you see buildings, new developments popping up every other day. So, and we recently did a market study, and we discovered that there'll be about 8,000 residential units coming into the market.
Wow.
Yes, from in 2025. So from Q2 of 2026 all the way up to Q3, and of course a bit of Q4 of 2027. And this, about 70% of that stock is in Westlands.
Oh,
Yes. So, I mean, obviously, when developers are building, it means there's a demand, right, for those units. And there are people who are buying. It's not just necessarily like Kenyans who are buying. We also tend to interact with a lot of foreign customers.
Yeah.
So it's you have to stay the course and make sure you're visible. People get to see you or get to see the brand. So that they're if they're looking for somebody reliable to just walk them through that journey, then they can select you to work with. So that's the plan. You have to stick to the plan.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Amazing. Joan.
what was your question again?
Anyway, I think we really yours was a bit deep. So what is grounding you to,
Okay.
the market is tough, but then you have a reason to do what you do
Yeah.
passionately every single day?
Yeah. So first, I believe that the day you stop growing is the day you start dying. So
And
This
it's, I know,
girls
right?
are deep.
You aren't ready.
I want ready for
it's
that.
true. It's true. So what I do, because that, I mean, when you're doing the same thing for like 10 over years,
Yeah.
it can become redundant, or you can feel like you're just a cog, you're just going through the motions. Yeah. So what I do, and I do this very, very intentionally, is that I look for problems. I look for new things to learn. I look for problems. I look for problems to solve, and I look for how can I learn something entirely new. Because the way your brain works is that when you're learning, there's you it works better when you're learning.
Yeah.
You're able to be more, you're happier, you are more in touch with whatever it is that you're doing. You're more alive, you feel more alive when you're learning something new. So I look for problems, I look for things that interest me, and I look to learn. So I'm either doing something that I'm not entirely like I mentioned earlier, in this new space whereby I'm handling disciplinary matters in a body that regulates our profession. So that means that I'm learning law, I'm learning the ethics of our regulations in a different kind of way. Yeah. And then also interacting with new people. You get to interact with new people who are on the same panel as you, people who think differently, and that just keeps things going. So there's that, on top of also doing what you do passionately, doing what you love passionately. So that's what keeps me going.
Yeah.
Amazing closing remarks. Let me just say, I never look at what I do as a hustle. It's a business. And for a business to thrive, you need to have consistency. You did mention two pillars. One is you have a team, and part of that team is actually your clients. Are you satisfying your clients? Are they happy? I always say real estate, it's a very relational business that you really can't afford not to build that level of satisfaction on the client side. And that's what really moves me, to make sure that my client is happy, and I challenge myself as well. Am I getting that satisfaction? Because my satisfaction comes from the client, from my team, creating a good environment. And that's how now you see, and you've actually also brought in the element of problem solving. We're in real estate, everyone is looking to make money. And money making business, it's a problem solving business, right? So if you put yourself in that equation, that's the tribe, the passion, because you want to make sure that you achieve that. And we're all in this business over and above making relationships to make money. Right?
Yeah.
And on that note, this has been Joan, Christabel, and Lucy, your real estate besties. Until next time, keep your dreams big, your heels high, and your real estate investments even higher. Bye.